I just want to say is that you can judge someone all you want and have opinions on situations that you don't have the facts to and don't know everything about.
Okay, so last week there was a huge drama between Rubi and Lala. A lot of you guys were in my DMs and really wanted me to talk about this. It was a really big story. My team were working really hard putting everything together, and today we can finally tell you everything that happened. This is going to be another series. Make sure to hit the subscribe button with notifications so you don't miss out on the episodes that will be uploaded on this channel. So basically, a long time ago, Rubi was going out with an artist called Carti. Not Cardi B, okay? Because that's what I thought. I was like, Cardi B's a lesbian? I didn't know that. But it wasn't Cardi B. It was some guy. Now, apparently, Carti was cheating on Rubi with girls, and one of those girls being Lala.
Me and Rubi didn't really like each other because she found out that I was messing with him because I posted a picture in his sweatshirt.
And I messaged her like saying,
oh, do you know who I'm dating?
Like, do you know who I'm with?
I'm like, no, I don't. We kind of just had this little, I wouldn't even say beef, we just had like a tension, like we didn't like each other, words got around because of this guy.
Now it turns out that Rubi and Lala stopped messing with Carti while Rubi ended up breaking up with Carti.
Me and Carti broke up.
We eventually both just weren't messing with him at all anymore, and she was being managed by someone that was kind of trying to manage me as well, and they were making a proposal to me. We had met once before to discuss it, and then the second time he had told me like Rubi was kind of reaching out to me on his behalf as well, and she was trying to hang out, and I was skeptical about it at first, and anyone that was friends with me at the time couldn't vouch for this, but I would tell them and they're like, bro, like be careful, that's a little weird that she's trying to just be besties and stuff considering like the common factor. I felt like, is she trying to set me up, or is she doing this to like get closer to me so that I don't talk to him or to find out my business? I was just very like unsure, so the first few times she tried to hang out I didn't like follow through.
And it turns out that Rubi wanted to be friends with Lala in the sense of, I don't know if it's revenge if you want to call it, like you're being friends with someone that was messing with your boyfriend while he was with you, like F him, let's be friends, let's be on some friend-ish.
I wanted to be friends with her on some like, that like the was hella other bitches aside from me and her.
Not only did Rubi wanted to be friends with Lala, but their manager also wanted them to be friends together because it will be good for their brands.
And then I think we finally hung out, and then after that there was a time that we met up with the guy that was eventually managing both of us, and he sat us down knowing the situation, and he's like, look, y'all both want to make money, right? At the time we both really weren't making money. I worked like a regular job at the mall. He's like, you know, y'all both want to make money, y'all both have potential. He's like, I don't think you should have this beef over a guy that first of all doesn't care about either of y'all, clearly is messing with tons of other girls. He's like, you guys don't have to really like each other, but you could at least make money together and, you know, play it cool just to make money together. He's like, but you don't really have to be friends, you don't really have to like each other.
Our managers did bring us together and want us to be friends at the time, so
we kind of like awkwardly agreed to that, and then we were just around each other a lot more because we had the same manager.
They end up bonding and getting really close.
And then there was like other personal things that happened, so I feel like we kind of got closer because we bonded on stuff that really we couldn't relate to with anyone else or talk about with anyone else. So that's kind of what made me feel like, oh damn, like this girl really turned into like my best friend.
Me and Lala got cool and became friends.
We just bonded on a lot of stuff, some really deep.
Me and Lala had just so much other like to connect with and bond with. Sis, let's become cool, like we're both beautiful as bitches, we have clout, let's be cool, let's say f these and be on some sis. So that's what it became.
But it turns out they had one rule, and that rule was not to be messing with Carti.
And the rule was neither of us f with her. And then my group of friends accepted her into the group, and we all became friends. We used to cook at each other's house, all this shit, we all became like a big friend group, and like we were sisters, especially me and Lala.
People were starting to feel worried for Lala for being friends with Rubi and started to warn her or give their opinions of why they felt that Rubi didn't have the best intentions for her.
From the jump, everyone would tell me like, watch out, she doesn't have the same intention, this, that, and the third, but I don't listen to people because I'm hard-headed, yes, but I also don't just judge someone based off what I'm told. I like to experience it firsthand, and then if the outcome, you know, is bad and people prove me right, then so be it.
And it turns out that Rubi still had a lot of love for Carti.
And it was later revealed, which I don't even think was a secret because she would still say it to people, but she was still in love with him, and it bothered her just knowing like you both messed with him.
Put that aside, it did bother me because that, like, at the time, that was like my only real boyfriend I ever had in life. We were together for 3 years. I felt some type of way, definitely.
And what made it worse was that apparently, according to Rubi, Lala was breaking their rule and still talking to Carti.
After all of that, we were still cool. We didn't talk. I didn't mess with him like that anymore. He would hit me from time to time, check in. I would run into him at events.
He would go back and fuck with him.
And I would tell Rubi every single time, like, so-and-so hit me, or I just saw them at this place. Every single time I would tell her. I should let her know, right? We're friends now. I'm not gonna be weird and sneaky, and I wasn't sneaking around to hang with him. I'm gonna let her know if he texts me, or if I see him at this place and we have a conversation. We didn't end on a negative note, but they did. They ended on a very, very bad toxic note. Times that I would tell her, she would never express to me that it bothered her.
Well, she's telling me, and I guess it's okay because she's not sneaky behind my back, but she would still go. And that shit would like be like, but we agreed that neither of us were supposed to talk to him with him.
Some times had passed, but according to Lala, it was 2 years ago. She ends up moving to LA.
This was probably like 2 years ago. I just moved to LA.
Around this time is when DDG was trying to get with Lala.
A while back, the way me and him met, like, he DM'd me and was trying to talk to me. And there's nothing wrong with that. It wasn't bad. I'm not about to sit here and like, but we hung out. Everything was innocent. There was one time that we kissed. And then after that, I told him like, look, I think you got the wrong impression, whatever. And let's just leave it at that. And we were friends after that. And
so after that situation happened, it turns out that one of Lala's friends also wanted a piece of the DDG rotten pie and tried to hook up with DDG, well, apparently was sneaking and doing stuff with DDG behind Lala's back and not telling her. According to Lala, she found weird, and clearly she was upset about the situation, that she even told Rubi about it.
I don't like him, but I think it's just weird that you couldn't tell me you were interested in him. Like, you had to go behind my back to sneak and meet up with him and mess with him when you could have just told me, because I wouldn't have cared. Just how I told Rubi, like, I wouldn't have cared. So fast forward, I told Rubi this, like, because I was mad about it and I was mad about the girl, so I told her.
So basically, she did care, period. Now, 1 year ago is when things started to escalate regarding the situation between Lala and Rubi's rule of not talking to Carti.
Alright, so to jump back probably almost a year ago, not quite, but almost a year ago, I was with Rubi at her house in Atlanta. I think I was staying there.
Thanksgiving last year, she came to stay with me, right? She was staying at my crib in Atlanta.
We got into an argument about something that had nothing to do with me and her personally, but it triggered her to like just expose her true feelings towards me. She just ended up telling me, like, honestly, I've been holding this in for as long as we've been friends. I never really messed with you. We're not genuine friends, and I don't look at you in that way, and I don't want to be friends anymore. I was like, what? Like, I was literally sitting there so confused. I was like asking her questions, like, why wouldn't you tell me this sooner? Like, I don't understand why you would just sit there and fake a friendship with me. Like, that's weird and it's hurtful. I felt the opposite. I'm like, damn, this is my sister. Like, I feel like we created a bond and we overcame a lot. So I thought we were real friends.
Rubi ends up telling Lala that she's only friends with her because of her label.
She's like, yeah, I know that I'm fake for it, but the reason that I've held this in is because my label told me that it was a good look and a good idea for us to have this little public friendship and bestie because you're popping, you're a pretty girl, and I need to be around that. And she straight up told me that. She's like, I need to be around a girl like you, and we can follow each other, and I'm gonna still like your pictures, and you know, I'm not gonna unfollow you or anything, but just in real life, it's just not, you know, it's not that.
According to Rubi, Lala only told her that because she felt hurt, that she was still messing with Carti, and she was really upset, so she wanted her to feel some type of way and said what she said.
So Lala says I said we were never genuine friends, right? Fuck said that. This is the reason why I said it, okay? Staying with me during Thanksgiving and Christmas, whatever, right? And then right before that, I guess it was Astro World, and I got back with Carti and whatever it was. She came to my house and told me that, and I was like, honestly, get the fuck out of my crib. And I told her, I said, the reason I'm staying cool with you is because my label says you're pretty and you're a good look. Did they actually say that? Fuck no, there's a million other pretty. I just said it to hurt the bitch's feelings. After she told me that they had started around again, I sure as hell said, you're not my friend. I'd be nice to you because you're pretty. I said that.
Now they end up being friends again, but Lala said that if that was the case, why didn't Rubi told her that?
After, wouldn't you think to tell me that? Like, oh, that wasn't true. Like, first of all, that's putting your label on the spot. So if that was a lie, you should have cleared that up. She never once told me she just said that to hurt my feelings or anything. Like,
anyway, after Rubi told Lala this, she ends up crying and leaving her place.
I literally left her house bawling, you guys. I went straight to my mom's house. She told me, like, you know, this girl, you've been seeing the signs from other incidents prior, and this girl showed you her true colors, so now you gotta make a decision. Because my mom, just being a mom, was like, I'm pretty sure y'all are gonna become cool again, and I know how you are, and you either have to know what it is and accept that and don't put your feelings in it, or move on and dead the friendship, because she just straight up told you that you guys aren't genuine friends. So what, you know, what's the point in continuing to be around someone that feels like that towards you? And I literally was so hurt by this, y'all, for weeks.
Now some time has passed and they end up talking again.
And Rubi didn't speak for probably like 2 months. I don't even know how we reconnected, but she ended up reaching out to me randomly, I think while she was in LA, to hang out or something. And I just I didn't bring anything up. I just went along with it. We never discussed the situation again. To this day, we've never discussed it. It was just like erased. But from that point, I knew, like, look, I gotta be smarter this time. If I'm gonna still hang around her and be friends with her, just know what it is, know how she is, and don't put my feelings in it, and don't take everything personally, because you're just gonna keep getting hurt.
Later, a week later, this was back. We're back. We're friends again. Of course, friends get in arguments. You were fucking with my nigga. I was upset. I said mean things because you're with my ex. Moving on.
So yeah, basically after that, I had seen her true colors, and I told myself to proceed with caution and just be aware, because, you know, you just can't trust people. You can't put your feelings in everything too much. Everyone isn't the same. That's just the reality of life, and I'm at the point where I'm fine with that. I can accept that.
Let's be real. That is the weirdest ish ever. Who becomes friends with someone after they do such horrible ish to them and still talk to them after, knowing how they are? Like, that's just weird. That is some LA ish. I don't know. I don't do that. Anyway, after that, they cool again, but then they end up getting into drama again because of another rapper, and we're gonna get into that in episode 2.
Me and Tjay were friends.
This is my friend. You might know her. Big Rubio.
I would tell her, like, oh, I'm kind of talking this thing. She's like, he's so ugly. Embarrassed me on the internet. Made me look fucking crazy.
I even told her, like, if you don't want me to do it, I won't do it.
But I can't with you.